I was drying my hair this morning when God asked me an interesting question. He said, would David have still won if he had worn the armour? He was talking to me about defeating Goliath. Wow, what a question for 6 a.m. Obviously, God knows the answer. But what he was doing with me was getting me to look differently at a situation. The world is always getting us to conform to something. We know that. Just this very week, I was told I needed colour in my hair. So the world is always telling us that we need to be a certain way to fit in. We need to be thinner, fitter, stronger. We need a bigger house, a better car, more stuff, less stuff. But did you realise that sometimes we do that too? Us, the church, the very bride of Christ. Are you trying to make David look and act like Saul, when God's already told him he's perfect just the way he is? Last Sunday, I was setting off to church. Actually, I was sat on the loo just before setting off, and I asked God how I looked. I was wearing a new jumper dress, and it was grey. God said, I prefer you in bright pink. I said, you do? And he said, yes. I said, why? And he said, because that's when you're happiest. That made me cry. You see, God's right. Reds, pinks, oranges and purples, that's me. That's happy Davina. What God was really saying to me, and he's saying it to you today, is this. Why are you trying to change and conform? Why are you dulling your sparkle? Who told you that you're too much, too bold, too bright, too whatever? Or even worse, who told you that you're not enough, that you need to be more outgoing, more proactive, more whatever? David defeated Goliath as David, a shepherd boy with a stone. Not a man, not a soldier. The soldiers were too afraid. The soldiers had their chance and didn't take it. They could have taken down Goliath any time in the last 40 days, but they didn't. They were afraid. Yet you can bet they criticised David when he turned up looking young and inexperienced and not using what they thought he should be using and not wearing what they thought he should be wearing. Yet David was God's person for such a time as that. And you and I, we're God's people for such a time as this. You're not in Saul's shadow. Neither am I. You don't need Saul's clothes and weapons. You have everything you need, so use it.